Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a super practical guide from the Troiana AI Hub today, and it's all about fixing one of our absolute most frustrating daily AI habits. Seriously, if you've ever felt like Claude or your AI assistant of choice is just missing the mark, well, we're going to figure out exactly why that's happening.
So, let's just cut right to the chase with a question I know we've all muttered under our breath. Why on earth are you rewriting half of the emails or documents your AI just drafted for you? You type in a prompt, hit enter, and boom, out comes this stiff, ultra-generic text. And honestly, it ends up taking you just as long to edit the thing as it would have taken to just write it yourself from scratch. It is a massive time sink.
Section 1. The generic prompt problem, or why you're working way too hard.
The contrast here is just wild. When you throw a naked prompt at the AI, absolutely no context, just saying, hey, write a follow-up email, it spits out this generic tone with totally wrong assumptions. And yep, you're stuck rewriting half of it. But the second you add just a little context, like who the person is and what your actual goal is, the output totally transforms. Suddenly, it fits the relationship perfectly, the formality is spot on, and you can actually use it right away.
And that brings us to the crucial takeaway from the Troiana guide. Basically, this is the golden rule of prompting. Claude knows language, but it knows absolutely zero about your specific situation. It doesn't know your boss, it doesn't know your company's vibe, or what happened in yesterday's meeting. You have to actually supply the situation.
Moving on to Section 2. Why Claude needs context. The guessing game.
Think about what's actually happening under the hood for a second. When you give a bare-bones request, you are literally forcing the AI to play a guessing game. It has to fill in the blanks somehow, right? So it invents this middle-of-the-road, incredibly generic reality. The result? An email that sounds like it was generated by a robot in some 1990s corporate training video. That generic guessing is exactly what we need to avoid.
Okay, Section 3, the context formula, building a better prompt.
So how do we actually fix it? Well, here is the formula. Whenever you're writing a prompt for a specific task, you absolutely need to state these three things. Number 1, who is the audience or the reader? Number 2, what happened before, give it the history or prior conversation. And number 3, what exactly is the goal you're trying to hit? It is so cool seeing this formula actually put into practice. So instead of that old, lazy habit of just typing, write a follow-up email, look at what happens when we use the 3 steps. Client went quiet after proposal. Worked together 2 years. Goal, reopen without sounding pushy. Boom. We've got the audience, a 2-year history, and a really clear goal. Now Claude can actually write something warm and totally tailored to that 2-year relationship instead of a cold copy-paste template.
Section 4, when context matters most, knowing when to supply the situation.
Let's talk about how this fits into your actual daily workflow. You're going to want to lean on this framework heavily for anything involving your specific work, your people, or your projects. We're talking drafting emails, outlining project plans, evaluating decisions, or, generating code in an unfamiliar code base. Basically, the rule of thumb is, the more your specific situation dictates the right answer, the more context matters.
Now, on the flip side, let's not be robotic about this. You really don't need to dump your entire life story into the prompt if you're just asking for an objective fact. If you want the AI to explain, say, how TCP handshakes work, your personal situation is completely irrelevant. Adding background there is just a waste of breath, or, well, typing. Save the formula for tasks that are actually personal to your work.
Section 5. Avoiding common mistakes. Don't trip up your AI assistant.
The Troiana guide points out 3 huge traps we all fall into. First, do not assume the AI remembers context from a totally different chat window. Unless you're explicitly using a project feature with persistent memory, every chat starts fresh. Second, don't bury your actual request under massive walls of context. And third, please stop withholding information just to test the AI. I see this all the time. People want to see if it's smart, but you're only going to disappoint yourself with a generic answer. It's a tool, guys, not a psychic.
To fix that second mistake, the one where we bury the lead, here's a super important rule of thumb right from the source. Always, always lead with your actual request. Put the task first so it doesn't get lost in the noise, and only then provide your supporting background. Task first, context second.
It's also super vital to curate the information you're giving it. Just dumping a massive, irrelevant document into the chat window, that actually confuses the AI. It totally dilutes what you want it to focus on.
So keep this mantra in your head. More isn't better, relevant is better.
Section 6. Advanced Persistent Context. Scaling your workflow.
So, what actually is persistent context? It's taking all that repetitive background stuff, who your company is, your specific role, your brand's tone of voice, and moving it directly into a project's custom instructions or a reusable brief. By doing this, the AI inherently knows the foundational details of your work environment before you even type your very first prompt of the day.
Ultimately, this strategy is a total game changer. It takes this highly repetitive, really annoying chore and turns it into a one-time investment. You set up your custom instructions once, and man, it pays massive dividends in both speed and quality for literally every single future interaction.
All right, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a bit of a challenge for the very next time you open up your AI assistant. Are you going to keep treating it like a magical mind reader, or will you actually step up and supply the situation? Stop making it guess, give it the context it needs, and just watch how drastically the quality of your output transforms. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and happy prompting.